So this is an introduction to abyssal sites where you use filaments to get into. Currently we have the skillers in the abyss thing running in EVE, so these abyssals are really helpful for getting those skill points. Currently I'm running this in a worm, and on this fit I have a small Anti-Kinetic screen reinforcer 2, small core defense field extender 1, and small anti-EM screen reinforcer 2. In the high slots I've got Arbalest compact light missile launchers with Caldari Navy Scourge light missiles, and in the mid slots I've got small shield extender 2 of those, one Pithum C-type EM ward amplifier, a 1MN Monopropellant enduring Afterburner, and I've got 2 drone damage amplifier 2s. You can probably scale them down to a T1 if needed, and you might still be able to run it, but I really recommend doing this with those tier 2, especially the T2 drone damage amplifiers, because drones are where you're going to be getting your DPS. In my drone bay I've got 5 Hornets to run this with. They're going to be doing the majority of the work. They're going to be taking out the enemy ships. The missiles are really for destroying the caches, which is where you're going to find your loot. So in this video I'm going to be running a calm exotic filament, as this fit works best for calm exotics, and if you change the missiles and the drone type, so you can do calm electricals, and for those I use the Mjolnir light missiles and I use acolytes in the drone bay. Okay, so let's go and run this abyssal. So to run an abyssal you have to open up a gate into the abyssal site. However, when you run an abyssal site there will be an abyssal trace left behind whilst you're running that abyssal, and it stays there for about 5 minutes after you finish that site. So if you're running these, you do not want to be anywhere on any structure grid. You want to go and find yourself a deep safe, make yourself a deep safe somewhere ideally really far away, and you do not want to be running these in GE. The reason for this is because GE is usually very active. We have cloaky campers who will tend to just wait, and they might scan you down. There are some people that do it, like I'm doing right now, but that's because we have a deep safe that's highly unlikely to be scanned down. It can be scanned down, but it's not likely to happen. Now for this, you need to, if you're doing a solo frigate, you need to leave any fleet that you're in, and you need to make a fleet with yourself. By doing that you can just go on the local window and form fleet with. When activating the filaments you need to open up your inventory, right click, and it will say use calm exotic filaments. So this is the calm exotic. Each filament does different types of bonuses and penalties. So for this one it will reduce kinetic resistance, but it will enhance scan resolution. You can run this either as with 1 cruiser, or you can run it with 3 frigates. This is the reason why you have to make a fleet with yourself, because to be able to run 3 frigates you need to have 3 people, 3 frigates doing that. However, you can solo it as a frigate, but it will stay at the same difficulty as if you were going to have 3. But it also means that you're going to have 3 people's worth of loot. So you do get more loot from soloing it in a frigate than you would soloing it in a cruiser. So as it says, you only have 20 minutes in the site. I tend to try and keep to about 18 minutes just to give myself a window, and I set myself a timer to do this. So we're going to go ahead and activate for fleet. it'll open up, and it'll open up this wormhole. It'll open up in your overview as an abyssal trace. Just right click on that and activate gate. It will then just double check that you definitely want to go in and click activate. And this is where I set my timer. Now in these abyssals there are different levels. This is a calm, so this is a level 1 or a tier 1 abyssal. You have 3 rooms, and each room will vary with what type of hostile you have in each room. It's completely random. So as you can see, I've deployed my drones. I'm going to be getting in close, and as soon as they're lockable, I'm going to lock both of them up. With these missiles, my range is 29 kilometers, so I'm going to try and get them within 29 kilometers. With this battleship, you want to try and not take too much damage. You want to keep your transversals up, so let's lock those 2 up. I'm going to take the frigate out first because he's quick, but he's very easy to take out. To get under the transversals of this battleship, I'm just going to keep tracking him, and I want to spiral into him. I don't want to approach him dead on. So by doing this, I'm just going, as I'm tracking him, I'm going to find a spot between the ship and him, and I'm just going to be clicking that. Then once I get in close enough, I'll orbit him at 2,500. This is to get under his guns. Battleships cannot track frigates very well. Although the main DPS is coming from my drones, I'm also going to shoot just to provide that bit of extra damage. And like I say, you can get away with just orbiting him, but you do not want to approach head on if you're far away. You want to keep a transversal up and then spiral into him. Now these battleships are possible to take down in frigates. It does just take a little while. Now, as you can see, there are 4 of these red circular icons. They're for caches. The Triglavian biocombinative cache, if I can say that, is where the main bit of loot is. These other ones have a smaller amount of loot, and sometimes they might even be empty, so it is sometimes a gamble. Because there are 3 rooms, I try and limit myself to 12 minutes per room. Not 12 minutes per room, sorry, 6 minutes per room. So we're just going to keep on orbiting him. And as you saw earlier, the small frigate was really, really easy to take out. Now in these sites, you're going to get either Triglavians, you're going to get drone NPCs, or you might get drifters or sleepers, as you can see in the skillers in the Abyss window. And he is going down, but as I said, it does just take a while. Sometimes the enemies might attack your drones, and that's okay, just recall your drones. And then once you've got the aggro back on you, you can then relaunch your drones. Now going back to the fit, these rigs I have at T2. You can go with tier 1s, I've only put them as tier 2s because I already had them as spare modules. The rest of it, if you can do T2, that is preferable. There we go, we've killed him, and now the gate opens. We're gonna we've still got 2 minutes in this room, so I'm going to go for that cache down there, or can, as people sometimes refer to them. These other two, I'm probably going to leave them because they're not worth it, and I'd much rather have extra time in the other rooms. I'm just going to target that one whilst I'm here, and just quickly shoot that one. I'm going to recall my drones because I don't want to forget them in a minute. Now these caches, you have to blow them up to be able to get the loot inside. They only take 1 hit from your missiles, and then they then appear as loot, as wrecks. So we're just going to open that cargo, and let's see what we get. There we go. We've got Triglavian Survey, Crystalline Oxygen 10s, and 0-point condensates. So let's go back for this other cache. Now if you had 3 of you in this room, you would be able to have time to get these other 2. My recommendation is, if you're first starting out, if you're a little bit worried about time, then just go for the bio cache, because it's better to be safe than sorry. If you run out of time, then your ship and your pod blows up. The only way of getting out of here is to die or make it through all 3 of the rooms. As you can see, you're in an unknown system, so there's no warping out of here. On the map, you'll see that you are in point of no return. There we go. So let's loot all of that and head to the gate. So this is just like any other jump gate, you just approach it and activate gate. It's like acceleration gates rather than normal jump gates. These square boxes, ignore those, they're towers and you can't destroy them. And try and stay far away from them because some of them do damage. So in this room we have these 3, the gate is up there, they'll usually be near the gate. We have this Triglavian subnode, we also have this one closer, so I'm going to go for this one. Because it's frigates, I don't mind going straight for the cache. If it's anything other than frigates, do not go straight for the cache. You need, if it's cruisers or up, or destroyers and up, you need to be orbiting them and focusing all of your attention on them. The caches can wait, but because they're frigates and they don't do much damage, then you can just target them straight away. And as you can see, that wreck is empty, so that was the gamble. Let's see where these other 2 are. So I currently have 10 minutes on my timer, so I've still got some minutes left in this room. As you can see, I'm now only being yellow boxed, so that means that the aggro on my drones. I can see the drones here, so they're not taking any damage, so I don't mind. I'm starting to take a little bit of damage now, but that's okay, I'm still in shield. I'd be very surprised if these frigates took me down significantly into armour. And if you are worried about it going low, then just simply pull out from the caches, stop going towards them, and simply run around and orbit their ships. So let's see where this other cache is. So let's go over to that cache. So those frigates have gone down quite easily. I'm just going to apply some missiles to this guy. if you are taking damage, then go ahead and just orbit the hostile. There we go, he's gone. There we go, got some loot from that one as well. I'm going to recall my drones. And there we go, not much from that. Let's head to the biocache. As we get closer, just lock him up. And fire away. There we go, we've got some more filaments from that. And let's head towards the gate. If you've got time, then do feel free just to orbit the gate at 500 just to let your shields regen, but I'm going to go straight for it because my time is starting to run low as I have been in this room for approximately 6 minutes. There we go, we've got 5 frigates in this room. So as we've got 5 rather than 3, I am just going to head towards the drones. I'm going to choose one to orbit, and I'm going to target the rest of them. So let's orbit this guy. Whilst my drones are taking care of the Dramovic, I'm going to target these other ships. There we go, my drone's going to come and help me on this one. He's going to go down immediately, so I want to cancel that. Then get them to target this next one. As you can see, by orbiting I'm not actually taking that much damage. That's because the transversals are high and they'll be able to miss you, as you can see there. Now that I've got them down to 2, I'm going to start heading to these other nodes. You have also got a timer up here, so you can see exactly how long you've got. I've got another 6 minutes, but according to my timer, I've got 4.5. I always try and stick to the 18 minutes, just because that gives you plenty of time. And if you're sticking to 18 minutes, then you know that if they're a bit further away, you have got time if you're running each room at 6 minutes per room. As this is the last room and I have got quite a lot of time left, I'm just going to go ahead and take all the caches, all the wrecks, all the cargo. There we go, let's get rid of that. Now let's head towards this one. What you can do is overheat your props a little bit, just to get you a bit of extra speed, which I do for 1 cycle. This isn't necessary, but if you are running low on time, then overheating that will give you extra time. However, you see this bar here is rising. The higher that goes, the more damage you'll do to that module. So you want to make sure that that's turned off, and that represents how much damage you've just done by overheating. So it's not recommended to keep that on. If you're running low, I would just do it for one cycle. Now, depending on your overlay settings, if you've got the overlay settings recommended as a brave newbie, then as soon as that cache has gone down, you're going to go straight to your miscellaneous to see the cargo. As you would with any other type of rack. There we go, just one of those, a bit useless. Let's go for this other one. Now I don't want to be bouncing off, so I'm just going to align out and then align down. Let's lock that one straight up and fire. If you are approaching this and you destroy it, your ship will stop because it no longer exists as an item. So it's always helpful just to either align, or as soon as you've destroyed that, go straight to your miscellaneous and then click approach, or you can just click open cargo and your ship will take you on an automatic approach. Now for the last one, let's head over here. There we go, I've destroyed that, and as you can see the speed is going down. And I've still got 3 minutes left. Now after I'm out of this conduit, I'll go through the type of loot that you can get from this exotic filament. Now the higher up the level you go in the filaments, if you do a tier 4, T2, T3 or a tier 4 filament, the amount of loot that you get in those will go up. So because this is just a T1, the amount of loot that you get is quite limited. Now let's head back to the Keep Star, and that's my timer. I made it out just in 18 minutes. So let's head back to the Keep Star and I will talk you through this different type of loots and the different types of filaments. The other thing with those filaments is once you're in them, your local will disappear. You won't have anyone on local because you've been transported to an unknown region of space.
Docking request accepted.
Now just going back to this fitting, this ship can be flown as an alpha. You don't need to be an omega to be able to fly this ship. So you don't need to worry about being omega. If you are an alpha, you can still fly the ship, you can still run those abyssal sites. So let's go into talking about these. Now the different levels of filaments that you get are the calm, the agitated, the fierce and the raging. You can also tell the level of what it is by these notches on the top. So that's got 1, that's got 2, 3 and 4. Now inside those sites you can get blueprints for Abyssal modules. You can get these mutaplasmids which can be combined with certain mods to make them Abyssal mods. So this is used with these heat sinks. You also get these Triglavian surveys which you can sell, as they do not do anything, and you also get these building materials. You get crystalline isogen 10s and 0-point condensates. These are used for Abyssal blueprints. As you can see here, that is how much it takes, and you get very little of those from running T1. So if you do want to get into building Abyssal modules, you're going to need to do higher level Abyssal sites. And that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.